Hi, I'm Joshua Curving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video. But first, we have two Death Battles to go over. The first one is Optimus Prime versus the Gundam. So in this case, it was a very good fight. They gave Optimus Prime pretty much all of his feats, which ended up being more than enough to completely crush the Gundam. Pretty much good enough to crush any Gundam, you could even go as far as to say. Them saying that destroying Unicron the one time with the Matrix leadership gets him like planet level concerns me a little bit, just in case we do get Galactus versus Unicron soon, but we'll deal with that as we get there. The animation for that one was really good. There was a lot of clean animation on that one. The weapons were used really well. The martial arts was, well, martial arts as far as fighting robots goes. That was an extremely good fight. And it was done barely by Torian, so we should be in some okay hands in terms of the animation team. So then we have Nightwing versus Daredevil. My weird guess that I made at the end of my last prediction video, it was right, so I technically do count that as a win on my part. I didn't really care about this one, really. I didn't look very deeply into it. And this one kind of also did feel a little bit slow, especially the fight. The fight in particular was really slow. I know you're kind of limited when it is live action, but this is why I think that the live action fights should be ones that are less like this, because with Nightwing and Daredevil you expect so much more acrobatics and choreography. You expect it to be so much faster than the humans really can be. And this one, it was very slow. There was a lot of time spent with just laying on the ground and grappling, and it was kind of weak. And especially the finisher. What exactly was that? They didn't go over anything that would make him able to do that. And they also went over the fact that Daredevil's suit was immune to electricity. So it's not like it was like an electric punch, unless it was more like meant to be the suit getting stronger from the electricity going through it. But that was really weirdly done, I must say. And yeah, so that kind of brings us to the next one, though, which is a big one. It is Sonic versus Mario 2. So they're repeating this one, going from the ground up with their new methods of looking at things. I know when it says new rules, people think they're going to throw some stipulation in. That's not as much what they mean. What they more mean is that in Season 1, they more looked at what counters what, as opposed to how strong these characters actually are. So in this case, they are going to go in on finding out how strong these characters are. So that brings us to who wins this fight. So let's go over a little bit of their stats. Ultimately, we'll go with speed first, because that's the one that's going to be the most controversial. Sonic, especially because they're not including Archie, so a lot of the really heavy wank factor is gone there. Sonic actually does not have very many feats that put him over light speed. He has, I think, one or two from one of the games where I think it's Omega, who states that Sonic is approaching the speed of light, and Sonic says, that's nothing, I can go faster than that. So I am assuming, fairly reasonable to say that he is probably around the speed of light. And I know he's got one other calculable feat where he flies to the moon in a couple seconds, I believe. So that's more or less what Sonic is working with right now. But Mario. So let's go over a couple feats. One, he can jump around in black holes. Okay. He can outpace light itself in not only several Mario Party minigames, one of which has him actually swimming out of a black hole, if we are including Mario Party. If not, then there are plenty of other feats that we can still use. One of which is in Super Mario Galaxy, I believe. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, where the starship is moving between like solar systems, and Bowser completely snipes it. This means that Bowser, and I don't even think he had consumed the Grand Star at this point, is more than fast enough to snipe an interstellar spacecraft. Massively faster than light. Advantage in speed goes to Mario. So that's going to put things, kind of set the tone for how a lot of this is going to go. Because then when we come to strength and durability, it's not going to be changing very much. Sonic, in base, his best stuff is against like Perfect Chaos, who flooded a city, which I think the calculation came out to about city level for that. But his best in Super Sonic was when he damaged Dark Gaia, who basically popped a hole out of the earth. The calculation came out to something around planet level. So you've got your planet level Sonic. For Mario, we have him point blank surviving a supernova, surviving for quite a while in a black hole, and there are several other feats from throughout Galaxy mostly. Again, this is why some people try to disregard Galaxy when it comes to versus debating for Mario, because it kind of just makes things... He becomes a lot more stompy. But you also have several other feats as well, such as, I believe they're excluding Paper Mario, so we can't include the fact that they defeated Super Dimentio. Darn, no multiversal. Unless you count the fact that they beat Dreamy Bowser, who had absorbed the Dreamstone, giving him the power of the Multiverse of Dreams. So it really depends on how you spin that. And then you have, basically durability is the exact same thing, from surviving supernovas point blank, and comparing him to these beings as well, who can survive these feats. So it's a pretty astronomical difference, really. If you have... And if you include other things as well, such as Mario Party, it only gets worse. This really isn't very close of a fight, and a lot of people think that there's some sort of ability or something that Sonic might have. Abilities and items are more Mario's things. Sure, Sonic has some of them, but they don't do very much. He's never been as reliant on them as Mario has, and even base Mario can probably beat the shit out of Super Sonic here. So power-ups are just kind of going the distance here. I'm sure we're gonna have like the like Star. I think the song that released actually as well had the Star as part of the music, but it ends before the ending, so we'll see how that goes. And again, we did see a preview with the Death Battle cast. I have gripes with it, but I'll get to those in a second. Ultimately, though, we do have a lot of things like time stops and abilities like that are shared between both of them. But, again, Mario just has so much more of a stat advantage that they're not going to help Sonic in any way. The only way that I could see them having Sonic win is, again, by just lowballing the hell out of Mario. I wouldn't be terribly surprised, but I do think that they will hopefully actually acknowledge Mario's feats here. So let's get on to the animation, because we have seen a little bit of it. It is being done by Blind Ferret, the same people who made the Smokey versus Scruff McGruff fight. I like how it looks. It is very well done so far. We did see a little bit of it in the Death Battle cast preview. My biggest gripe with it is how terribly out of character Mario seems so far. Like, spoiler warning for those who haven't seen it yet and don't want it, how the fight starts spoiled. You've basically heard my thoughts on it. I believe Mario wins quite handily. So basically how the fight starts is Sonic is setting up on a beach, and he looks both ways, sees no one's around, goes to lay down in his chair on the beach, and Sonic is suddenly in it. And just at that, just someone sitting in his chair, he like folds up the chair and boots it across the beach. Mario is not that much of an asshole. It's almost like they're going for like the combination of game theory sociopath Mario as written by Dorkly. It's like, it's just a very out of character Mario, and I don't like it, and I think it might bode pretty poorly as to that they're kind of writing it like that so that you're more happy that the person who's not being as much of a dick wins. So it makes me a bit nervous, but we'll see what happens with that. And with that, I will see you guys after the next one, and hopefully this one goes well. I'm really hoping. Because I know we have, I think, 3 more episodes to go for this season after Mario vs. Sonic. That's what they said on, I think, one of Ben's posts. I believe it was yesterday. Well, and with that one, I'll see you guys after the next one.